Hello, today is May 11th, 2024. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer. We'll go over our calls. We'll make some predictions. So my trading plan for Monday, which is May 13th, 2024. Remember, it's a plan. I can change it. My plans can be wrong. Also, I have personal business early in the day, and I'm going to probably be able to watch the market sometime in the afternoon. Don't know how much time I'll have. Later on in the month, I have a number of days when I just have other things I have to do. But I'm pleased to tell you that on May 22nd and 23rd, our friend David is going to be giving away his stuff for free. All you have to do is go to YouTube. Here's how to sign up. He's a real pro, and I would not let this opportunity pass you by. Mark your calendar and go to this address. Well, we looked for the pattern on Friday with the early high, which is this, and Monday should have the early low. We had some targets. I said that about twice a year I have a time cluster where a number of these targets don't print in their time frame, even though they do print eventually. At least they always have for over 20 years. I suspected that this might be one of those times, and it was. This is a reminder of what we said. These are the patterns we should see next week. This weekend is one of Christopher Carolan's possible change in trend and dates. These didn't print in their preferred time frame, so they don't have to print anytime soon, but my experience is that's just too many for one day to stay unfilled for very long. So before too much time passes, I do think we're going to see these prices, even though it isn't a hard and fast rule. During the day, MJT said this drop wouldn't stick, said this rally wouldn't stick. They've all retraced. This is the weekly chart. We now have bar 12 of Tom DeMark's sequential sell signal. Bar 13 can finish early, so unless we have a collapse early Monday morning, we'll be in bar 13. These, in general, mark areas where the market's overextended. They aren't really pinpoint indicators, but they tend to mark times when the market corrects either in terms of time or in terms of price. The last one we had was way back here in early March. It certainly didn't pick the high, but you can see in terms of time, we haven't gone anywhere. It's been really 2.5 months and we've stalled, and the odds are very good. We're going to see bar 13 next week, so we're going to be entering a time when the market very likely will correct either in terms of price by dropping or in terms of time by consolidating. It's important to note that this is a totally different methodology than Christopher Carolan's stuff. Christopher Carolan's time with a 3-day leeway is on Saturday. This officially will trigger on Friday. So we have two systems, neither one of which is perfect, which are calling for the same day, give or take a little bit. These aren't exact things, but we have two different methodologies calling for a pause in the rally at this time, or at least by the end of the week. If you look at the last time you were at this level on the weekly chart, you can look at RSI. You can see RSI is weaker, MACD is weaker. If you're going to break through, you really would like to see these things getting stronger instead of failing to confirm on the way up. These aren't really exact indicators too, but they're not hard and fast signs of a top coming up, but they're certainly compatible with the top coming up. Well, we completed wave 1 up. Let's just review that. We've completed a huge ABC, which has lasted a generation. We completed wave 1 up. We're in, of some degree, we're in wave 2. When that's over, we look for much, much, much higher prices. But we're still in wave 2 until it's over. Well, it's possible to count this alone as wave 2, since it is 3 waves, but it just would make a cleaner picture if this were an A and that were a B, and if we get a C, even if it doesn't start right here. This is the TDST line on the daily chart, and there's resistance in that area. Now it extends to 1 full bar over the line. Doesn't mean you have to go there. It just means just below the line and just 1 bar over the line, resistance. You also have resistance from the upper Bollinger Band. None of these say we have to stop right here. We could go higher without changing anything, but it's just more evidence that we're approaching an area of strong resistance. Here's where I think where we are on the 30-minute chart. It's hard for me to count this thing as being a complete wave up, so maybe the high of this move hasn't been seen. But once this finishes, and there's a good chance it'll finish maybe by the end of this week or early next week, then I think we're going to get another wave down. Well, Monday's pattern has a early high regardless of where we open. Friday's pattern called for a high near the close or a straight line drop. Neither one happened. Now, Monday's open can substitute for Friday's close, and if that works, we'll either gap and promptly overtake Friday's high or we'll drop in a straight line. Timing indicators are near an area from which a high is plausible. Again, if there's no timing indicator, it probably isn't a high. If there is a timing indicator, it doesn't mean there is a high, it just means it's a candidate. Sentiment indicators are close to giving a sell. Price is near resistance, as we've shown. So the odds are good that the current rally is going to stop within a week or two. I can't rule out a consolidation, but it would make for a much more pleasing technical picture if we correct in terms of price rather than in terms of time. So I don't know how we're going to open Monday. If we don't gap and take this out, it's a weak pattern and we should drop. Doesn't mean we have to close down, but that's a weak pattern for now. And even if we gap up here, don't forget you're gapping up into resistance. So I think we're near resistance in terms of price. We're near resistance in terms of time. We're near resistance in terms of sentiment. I'm not saying the rally's over, but I think its days are numbered. And while we could consolidate, I think that before too much time passes, we're going to drop and see these prices, and probably this one, and maybe more than that. So it's the pattern with the early low. We'll see how we open, and even if we do go higher, which is entirely possible, whether we do it Monday or not, I seriously doubt we're going to go a lot higher in a straight line. And that's today's call.